You know what makes things work better? When you turn the power on. Good morning, y'all. This is your badass bookworm. I am gonna give you a little update on the podcast, November, the badass bookworm events, books, all the things. Having a little coffee, sweet and creamy like myself. First of all, I am today hosting a writing workshop. The topic is death. Very appropriate. I spent yesterday at a memorial, a beautiful memorial for my dear friend's daughter, rest in peace, Dahlia, Church of St. John Coltrane. Amazing, beautiful. Missy Church, who's been on the pod, a friend of the pod, wrote a book called Church, a Retrospective, is going to lead us in a workshop, Writing to Death. And then she asked people to bring items of loved ones that have passed. She was on the podcast recently talking about her book and also the book of Kelly Landmine that she published. They both are friends of mine that have become death doulas. So they have some interesting stuff to talk about with death. And though I work with hospice patients, I didn't know about death doulas, so it's pretty damn interesting. Check it out. Check out the pod. That was posted this week under Badass Bookworm Podcast. Next week I'm gonna have the Afro Surreal Writers Group. I talked to Audrey Williams and a number of other members of the Afro Surreal Writers Group at Oakland Peace Festival. Each one of them writes totally different genres, has kind of different missions, but they're part of the group because they like the expanded ideas of people of color writing science fiction and a variety of things. And I don't know if you've ever read the Afro Surreal Manifesto by D. Scott Miller, but I highly suggest that you do read anything by D. Scott Miller. I was sold when I heard that it was founded on the belief and love of Rakim and Eric B. and Octavia Butler, because that's my shit. And if you're in California right now, with the state burning up and homeless encampments encroaching and things looking very dystopic, air is hard to breathe right now. Read Octavia Butler, or if you haven't already, because she pretty much predicted all of this long ago, and I can't recommend her enough. I haven't read all her books, but I definitely plan on it. So we have, those are coming up for pods. Then I'm going to have Alvin Orloff. I'm going to host a reading with Alvin Orloff, author of Disasterama, Adventures in the Queer Underground from 1977 to 1997. Alvin's a friend or a friend of friend. So I really enjoyed the book. I always like to read about San Francisco. Hear friends of mine like Jennifer Blowdryer, who's also been on the pod. Richard Loringer is a dear friend who has a poem in the book, and we'll be reading with Alvin Orloff November 18th at the Legionnaire Saloon here in Oakland on Telegraph. I have a sick lineup, y'all. I'm hosting. I will have Sam Sachs, like the boss, right? Sam Sachs. If you know anything about poetry, you know who Sam Sachs is, and he's going to read with us. Vernon Keeve III, my love, my dear, also been on the podcast, fucking wonderful writer and person. Richard Loringer will at least read his poem and hopefully some other shit. Anna Allen and Dana Rod, two writers that I discovered through my hosting of Moondrop Productions with Kalechi Obozo. Two just phenomenal queer young women that I don't actually know what their preferred pronouns are, but I know that their writing is fucking wow. So come through, because the shit is fun. And after the reading is Motown Mondays, and there's good ass music, good drinks. Legionnaire is a dope, perfectly located bar with fabulous owners. Come drink with me, come hang out, come hear some good readings, not just poetry. It'll be a mix. It should be really good time. It starts at 7 o'clock, November 18th. Let's see, where else am I reading before then? I'm reading on this Tuesday, the November 5th, at the March Theater in Berkeley for Slam Jam with Tony Eldorado, another dear friend and poet that's been on the pod. Tarita McKell, who's been on the pod. I don't know if I've posted it yet, but she will be if she hasn't already. And I forget who else. Royal Kent. I'm sorry. I probably should know who that is, but I will after Tuesday. We're going to be reading with a live jazz band. How dope is that? It starts at 7, says it ends at 10, so it's like a whole night. I know they have a great bar there. It's right in downtown Berkeley. It should be really super fun. I mean, jazz and poetry. Good poetry, too. Yeah, it'll be dope. Tarita McKell she's a phenomenon. She's been around for a long time and just doing the damn thing. She's to be loved and cherished. Then after that, I am reading next Saturday. I forgot to bring his books in. I'm reading next Saturday with Kevin Koval, who's a poet out of Chicago, who's fucking amazing. If you know poetry, you probably know him. Comes from the slam world, started an organization called Louder Than a Bomb. All these young rappers that are really great coming out of Chicago, like Chance the Rapper, or Mick Jenkins, who I really like, but a shit ton more. They came up in Louder Than a Bomb, doing spoken word, and also he's part of Young Authors of Chicago. I mean, it's like really amazing work in the world, and that's that part. Like, his poetry is also super dope. I have a bunch of his books. I didn't bring them in. I'm sorry. I have so many friends' poetry books that I couldn't find a few of them I was looking for. Let's see. Oh no, before Afro Surreal, we have Jan Steckel. She's got a book that just came out called Like Flesh Covers Bone. She's going to talk about that. She's going to talk about being an activist for the bisexual community. We'll get into that a little bit. It's a pretty fun podcast because she actually laid down in a bed while we had the conversation, which no other guests have ever done, but she is the horizontal poet. It was cool. That should be out on also November 5th, Tuesday. That should be up. I don't have video, but I have audio. And shout out to B Banks for cleaning up my shitty audio. My video, well, you're on your own. But anyhow, those are the readings I can think of coming up before the holidays and workshops. What I'm reading right now is, of course, my friends, but I'm reading Rock Him, Sweat the Technique, or I'm about to. I haven't actually started it. Always, Questlove. Just got this in the mail. I'm super excited. Prince, The Beautiful Ones. I guess this is writings that he had started before he passed. It's the heaviest freaking not that big book ever. It's like gold plated. It's crazy. It has so many pictures. It's kind of luscious. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the Morris Day one. I hear is an interesting take on Prince as well. So I'm gonna get that. This is what I've been reading. This is what I recommend. This is what I want people to read and write to me, message me. I am Cassandra Dallett at Yahoo, or the Badass Bookworm Podcast at Gmail. I'm Mama Cass 69 on YouTube, I think. I'm CassandraDallett.me. I'm Cassandra Dallett on all the social medias, from Twitter to Facebook to the Gram to whatever. But anyhow, Hexing the Patriarchy, loving it. Ariel Gore, I always love. And a bunch of my bestie, MK Chavez, has writing in here. Michelle Gonzalez, who's a friend. It's a good book. I want to hear what people think. I sent it to some friends also to enjoy. It was kind of timely because I just went to New Orleans with my girls on our girls trip for our birthday, and so I've been reading about Marie Laveau, and this kind of ties in wonderfully. the other book that I demand that you read, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, read Knucklehead by Adam Smyer. And when you do, and you have things to talk about or questions to ask or whatever the fuck it is, I will be hosting a book club in December. Holler at me if you, for reals. Like, it's so hard to get people to read books. This is a really quick read. I read it in like 2 days because you won't be able to put it down. And you'll have feelings like, this is a brother expressing rage in this character, and also a heartbreak and a whole lot of other things. And the author is a friend. I got to know him because I like the book so much, and it matches me. See, so read the book, okay? Please get it. However, your local bookstores, ideal, Amazon if you can. Oh, my latest is a re-release, but this is My Bad Sandy, and I just had a reading at the Legionnaire Saloon a couple weeks ago. It was so fantastic. It was fun. If you want to hear me, that's kind of old, but it's me. Oh, this is another Alvin Orloff book that I have heard him read from, and he's just a great reader, so check that out. Okay, that's my book recommendations for now. Got enough for you? I mean, listen, it's crazy. The piles are stacking up on all sides, and I'm trying to read all of it. What I'm listening to, mostly right now, I'm loving the soundtrack for Godfather of Harlem. Loving the show, loving the soundtrack. Like, that is a well put together show, and some good ass music. As far as new releases, I'm still playing my same Libra Party 2019 playlist on Spotify. It's just everything from like Anderson .Paak to Freddie Gibbs and Jim Jones. But like the albums that have come out recently that I'm digging are there. I haven't listened to the new Kanye. Hearing, mixed reviews. I can pass on gospel rap completely, honestly. I mean, I love Jesus Walks. I love when he uses it in his other music. I'll listen to it, but I really hate where that man is at right now. Like, hail to the no with the Make America Great Again. Just all of that is no. The book club for the beginning of the year, after Knucklehead, I'm going to recommend people read Mi Familia by Tomas Moniz. I don't have a copy yet. I haven't read it yet, but I will be. And I will have a book club with him here present. As with the Knucklehead, we'll have Adam Smyer, the author, here. So you can directly ask him things and tell him things and tell him to fuck off if you want to. He can handle it. No, don't do that. That's the other book that'll be in probably January. We'll put the book club together. But anyways, if you come across Mi Familia by Tomas Moniz, please read it. He was on the podcast a couple months ago. We had a blast, as we always do. He's a fucking great writer and just really super fun. What else is going on? I mean, impeach the motherfucker pretty fucking much. Impeach this motherfucker. I'm so glad that we're here, and that is finally, I mean, he should have been impeached before he was in, but so shout out Katie Hill is the woman who just was shamed with these pictures the ex released. Like, fuck all that. None of that, folks. No slut shaming. Nobody gives a fuck if she smokes a bong and is bisexual, if her politics are good and she's out there fighting for us. Nobody gives a fuck. Fuck all that stupid shit. Just impeach this motherfucker. I don't care if you love Warren, Sanders, Kamala Harris. Just get one of them in this fucking office fast. We have to stop this shit. Just like close the camps, impeach the motherfucker. That's my current events. Oh, California's been on fire. If you're in California, I hope you're okay. And shout out to all the people that had survived days of blackout and fleeing evacuations. And it's been crazy. And we're finding out that for sure PG&E is responsible for starting over 400 fires up and down the state. But we knew they were fucking crooks since Aaron Brockovich, right? Like, that's not really new. It is scary as fuck, though. So hopefully we can get some break that shit up. Break that shit up. It shouldn't be a big corporation running all that. It's absurd. It's the largest in the country. We need to have some local, smaller situation. So, keep that shit in mind. That shit is real. Get solar power if you can. I'm serious. I need to get a battery for my solar power so I can store that shit. So when we do get blackouts, because we're going to, so I can still have some power, yo. I don't really want to buy a generator, you know what I mean? Shit is crazy out here though. So be prepared because it's going to be more. Climate change is real. It's not a hoax, and the oceans are rising. The weather's getting hotter. The fires are going to continue jumping off. So be careful and be wise and educate yourself. And R.I.P. Dahlia. Love you forever, baby girl. Your daddy did a beautiful job on the service, and so much love to all the extended family and any parent that ever loses a child. That's some bullshit. That shit is out of order. And I'm sorry, and my thoughts are with you. Pray for Prison Bay, as always. Keep your head up for all the prison bays, and hope they come home soon. Ciao for now. Read books, y'all. I'm the Badass Bookworm. Check me out. Listen to the podcast. Watch the fucking videos. Come to my readings. Read my books. Buy my books. Oh, buy my t-shirts. Badass Bookworm t-shirts. Everywhere I go, people love them. I get compliments like crazy. And my cousin that works at Apple said that the big wigs were all like, that's the coolest shirt. But for reals, people love it. Yes, it's got a little promo on the back. They will be for sale on my website, CassandraDallett.me, shortly. I just put in an order for a bunch of shirts. I'm not gonna have the tanks for the winter. I might get some hoodies, but for now I just have regular tees. The ladies' tanks were bomb. Everybody loved them. Super comfortable. And hoodies would be dope. And it might be something like this. Okay, so stay so bae. Oops. There we go. So bae, and look for the Badass Bookworm podcast on wherever you listen to podcasts, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, all the shit. And I'll be back with more videos of guests and of me giving you updates. So you can see my sexy ass face, my badass books, and join me. Read a fucking book, motherfucker, and impeach.